Well, good afternoon to you. I almost said good morning. It is actually 2 minutes into afternoon. Welcome to Exiles TV. I am Bill Profita. I assume you know who you are, and we're glad to have you with us this morning. We're going to be talking a lot about crime during the course of the show today. And before we get to that, every now and then you see a sign on the road that makes you pause. You know, used to have a lot of fun signs back in the days when car travel was de rigueur and you only flew if you were rich or on business. And you'd see a lot of signs that restaurants would put up and Holiday Inns and roadhouses and things like that. You don't get to see too much anymore. But I saw this one a few days ago, and it was posted by someone else. But this is so appropriate to what's going on in our country, in our state, in our city. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and make bad decisions. That is a keeper. Well, the news of the day actually was the news of yesterday evening. The carjacking at Our Lady of the Lake Hospital that happened last week. And of course, that was followed up by a 23-year-old walking into the ER at 12:15 in the morning saying he wanted to check himself in. He didn't state any medical complaint. He didn't state any problem he was having. Didn't say his doctor had sent him. He wasn't bleeding. He was still breathing. Came in under his own power. The clerk noticed he had a gun on him. The clerk called the sheriff's deputy who was in the emergency room, who approached him very carefully. Not only did he have a Glock 17 on him, he had a 50 round drum magazine on the other side of his belt. Now, I saw this kid's mugshot. It looks like the weapon may have weighed more than he did if it was fully loaded. But if he had started pulling the trigger in the emergency room or anywhere else with that gun, we would have had a mass casualty event. There is a reason that police departments and the military do not use these 50-round drum magazines on a handgun. Because you don't know where shots number 2 through 50 are going to go. Because you're putting 6 pounds of weight on the bottom end of a 3.5-pound weapon. And then you're pulling backwards to you on the trigger. These things are a disaster looking for a place to happen. But what I want to know is, why did he walk in to Our Lady of the Lake? Was he hiding out from somebody? Was he looking to make a name for himself? Doesn't much matter, because he's the one with the 50-round magazine. Now, in addition to that, we found out that a 15-year-old was arrested yesterday in the carjacking that occurred about 6:30 in the evening last week on, Friday, in the Our Lady of the Lake parking garage. The unnamed teenager, you know that's my pet peeve. I don't know why we shield these kids just because they're 15. The minute they point a gun at somebody and take their car, they're over the age of consent as far as I'm concerned, and we ought to know who the hell they are. Taken into custody with help from the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force and the EBR Sheriff's ARAB Detective, Armed Robbery Division. He's been booked in the Juvenile Detention Center on a charge of armed robbery. The car was recovered Monday in the Gardier area. But here's an interesting little thing. In addition to not knowing his name, because he's a juvenile, not knowing where he lays his head at night, not knowing who his mama and daddy and grandmama are, so that they can share in the shame of what they've helped to raise and shape, nobody said how he got there. Was he dropped off by an older person to steal a car? I mean, this happens. They get juveniles to do their dirty work for them because they know they're going to do juvenile time. Is there surveillance video of him lurking around Our Lady of the Lake that nobody saw? He's in the parking garage. They didn't see him get out of a car unless somebody dropped him, in which case they should have a license plate look at the car that dropped him. Oh, and one other thing. The woman who was carjacked, a nurse at Our Lady of the Lake, said that she had her own gun in the car. Not one news report, not one statement from the cops says whether or not that gun was recovered as well, or whether that's in the stream of criminal commerce that we have in East Baton Rouge Parish. Tired of it. You should be tired of it too. All day, every day, you should be tired of it. And this shielding juveniles with guns has got to go. Call your state legislator and tell them you want to change the laws regarding juvenile criminal charges. If it's a crime of violence and there is a weapon involved, I believe the public deserves to know who has been charged and arrested and when they are going to be tried and the evidence against them. I don't believe in shielding somebody who is 15, 16, 17 years old when they got a gun in their hand and they're pointing it at a helpless person in a parking lot to steal their car, or even worse, when they're pulling the trigger multiple times and knocking people off in the street. I'm tired of it. And you know what? You should be tired of it too, and here's why. These juveniles know they're being shielded. The older people in their family or their gang or their cohort or whatever it is know that they can get the juveniles to do the crime for them, and they will be shielded and they will get less time. This makes everyday living in this state more dangerous for all of us, because you don't know who they are, you don't know where they live, you don't know who their families are, and you could be the next one they snuggle up to in a Circle K and stick a Glock behind your left kidney. This has got to stop. I'm a little over time here. We'll be back in a moment with Chief Pat Anglade. Stick around. How you doing?
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. You know, I wish we didn't have to talk so much about crime, but crime is our reality. And we are starting to see that people are now a lot more worried in every aspect of their daily life, and they want to find a way to take care of themselves, to mitigate their danger, to have something in their emotional toolbox beyond fear. Former BRPD Chief Pat Anglade has been with us many, many times before. He's the executive director of CALIF, which is the law enforcement foundation we have here that's trying to provide safety gear and help to our officers throughout the state. But you and former Chief Ferries have started an enterprise to try to help people stay safe. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think Greg and I, we've been friends. We worked together for years. I was in his office as chief of staff when he was chief of police. So we've had this connection forever. We've both seen this coming for a long time. You can look at the numbers. I mean, anybody that deals in crime needs to know what the numbers are telling you, because those things will give you indications of what we can expect in the future. And you've seen these things climbing and climbing and climbing, and there's been a pretty good effort to hide most of that most of the time.
Well, they're hiding part of it all of the time, most of it some of the time.
Correct.
You know, we need your help finding these people. No physical description. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the agenda is here, to be honest with you. I think the more, and we've discussed this many times in our safety classes, is that for people to get safe or keep themselves safe, they have to know what's going on in around this city at all times. And to be informed of that is the responsibility of the police department. They know firsthand where the crime is and where the most affected areas are, and they should be letting that information out on a daily basis. They've spent millions on that real-time crime center that supposedly will give you instant results about what's going on in a day. I haven't heard any information coming out on that. I don't know if anybody else has, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to be doing. The officers tell me they're not getting information from it. So I don't know if we got a $10 million paperweight or what we got over there. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but certainly it would be a tool to help all of us realize if there were incidents around Baton Rouge. You know, if your phone goes off or whatever method they would use to let you know that there was, say, somebody that just committed a robbery is loose at Coursey and Sherwood, then people would know that, and they would know to avoid that area if they can. So there's a lot of things that we could be doing that we're not, and I'm not sure why.
Well, and a lot of it does come down to information. And I don't want to say it this way, but I don't know how else to say it. A lot of it is, don't put that full description out because you're going to make our team look really bad. And I don't mean our team, the police department. I mean our team that looks like the people who are committing the most of the violent crime right now, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
Because you're not convincing anybody of anything other than the fact that you're withholding information. Because you know what? Those who are bigoted, those who are prejudiced, are still going to hate you. There's very little that the police department or the administration can do about that. And It's a shame. It's a shame that we still have bigoted people. But my God, you want to help build some people that don't trust you. Leave out these important descriptions when you're asking our help to find somebody that just pulled the trigger 9 times and hit 3 people.
I don't know what created that. We've never had a problem with that. I think there's a lot of theories of how we've got where we are now, and I think everybody's scared of being called a racist.
Well, sure they are.
And therefore they're going to back off and not do what they're supposed to do or give out information in fear of being called a racist. But that has nothing to do with it. Police look at crime as whoever's offending. There's no target on people's back. A lot of this stuff has just been so misconstrued in the media.
Well, let's not forget how many of our officers are African Americans, and let's not forget, among the officers that got shot, what was it, 5 years ago? I've lost time.
This week, 5 years ago.
We got one dead good officer who was also African American.
Absolutely.
They face the same ends of the guns that the white officers do.
Absolutely. They're in fact, in a good segment of the community, those guys. I talk to these guys all the time. They're looked upon as traitors, Uncle Toms, whatever else they get called on a daily basis because they feel like they betrayed their people when doing this. And these are guys that just want to do something good for this community. They've had a calling. They feel like it's something they want to do. And honestly, they take a worse beating than the white officers out in the streets as far as abuse and name calling and those things.
Well, we're going to talk about the generalities of crime. I think these 2 incidences at Our Lady of the Lake really hit a nerve.
They did.
And I'll tell you what the nerve that they hit. They hit the nerve of a lot of people who are very well-to-do, who support that hospital financially.
They write checks.
And I think they hit the nerve of the medical professionals who work there that are, as you said, just trying to do a job and help everybody that comes through the door, and they're all tired of it. But before we get to the next segment, where how can people keep themselves safe, and the classes that you all provide and just general information, what struck me about this was this poor lady who had a gun pointed at her was doing one of the things that you never, ever, ever do. She's in a parking lot. Statistically, the most dangerous place in America to be is in a parking lot. And her door was unlocked, and she was not paying attention to the surroundings because she was doing her makeup.
Absolutely.
If she'd been paying attention and seen him creeping up, she might have been able to throw it in reverse.
And we tell them, run over them if you have to.
Exactly.
We'll pick up the pieces.
Well, we're going to talk about what you can do to stay safe and maybe be a little more confident in our area in just a moment. Stick around for more of Exiles TV. Yeah, I heard you.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
This is State Treasurer John Schroeder urging you to check your mailbox. We just mailed out $4.5 million of unclaimed property checks to people across Louisiana. Unclaimed property is lost money turned over to the Department of Treasury so we can return it to you. The process is so easy, you can claim it right from your phone. Check for yourself, check for your family, and don't forget to check your businesses. This is your money. Claim it. Check your mailbox. And cash your check. It's that easy.
The Post on Church Point, a brand new event venue owned and managed by the VFW Post 3693, welcomes you to the bridal show of the future. Come out and enjoy the food, dancing, meet and greet with vendors, and win amazing prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. For tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. Located at 42430 Church Point Road, Gonzales. Vendor space is very limited, so hurry to secure your spot.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. The gentleman beside me, former BRPD chief, Pat Anglade, and there is a name for the classes that you and Greg Ferries are providing, by the way, at no charge.
Correct.
No charge. What are they called?
Keeping yourself safe.
Keeping yourself safe.
Pretty simple.
And you have these in the evening?
We do. We're getting a lot of calls from older people asking us, can we do some during the day? They're not crazy about getting out at night for a lot of reasons. But mainly right now we're doing them about 6 in the evening.
Let's start with just some general things. And I don't know if this is true or not, but there was a security consultant 20 years ago that wrote a book that said, don't ignore that inner voice, your spider sense.
Absolutely.
Even if you can't see something and you feel something's wrong, get the hell out of there.
Correct.
Is that where we start?
Yes, we start. Greg and I have had this argument, and I know you're a gun guy too.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg believes that everybody ought to have a gun. He's one of the strongest Second Amendment people I've ever known in my life. But we've come, I've kind of moved him over to the side where we have a lot of women that are just not comfortable with a gun. So we're offering alternatives, options that they can use. And I'm going to tell you, you hit it on the nail. Everybody's best weapon is right here. Their second sense, they're paying attention, they're doing what they're supposed to do to make sure they don't become a victim. And we harp on that a lot because, we become so distracted as a community now between the cell phones and ladies who don't feel like getting up a little bit too early. They run to the office, park in a garage, and decide, now I'm going to put my makeup on before I go into work. And you created yourself as almost a prime victim at that point, because they call them predators for a reason. They prey on people that they see are vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And that's what if I'm looking around a garage and a car pulls in and I'm going, that's a pretty nice car. Well, she's got some money, and how can I get up to her? And all of a sudden she starts this. And I've actually seen them doing that and flipping through Facebook at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so their mind is completely away from anything outside that car.
And I can get right up next to him with a weapon.
She never saw it coming. I mean, it happened that fast. She actually had a gun. I mean, she's told me that. And she had no way to react to that fast. I mean, when they hit you like that, it's just seconds. So you've got to have something in your mind, and we harp on that in the class. If this guy walks up to your car and you're in it and your doors are locked, what are you going to do at that point? You've got to make a decision. And we tell them use everything within your power to survive. Whether you run over them, we don't care. I mean, you need to survive that.
Lay on the horn, put it in gear.
Do whatever you want to do.
Get your butt out of there.
There's an app on the side of the buttons on the side of your iPhone that calls 911 when you hit it. And there's a lot of different things that people are not aware of that we give them information about during this class we give. And it's become, people that have been through it are spreading the word. It's becoming very popular. We've been asked to do some classes maybe within the hospitals for the nurses and the medical staff there. Because, in most cases, Bill, you've dealt with hospitals a long time. They usually put the employees way away from everybody else to make it convenient for patients and their families. So the garages may not be even adjacent to the building. And so you got these buildings that are so far away. Young nurse at Baton Rouge General Mid-City told me they park in a garage, and all through the garage are homeless people. When they pull up in the morning to go on their shift, usually 7 to 7, whatever the shift is, they say the place is full of homeless people. Now, are they harmless? I don't know, but I mean, it scares the hell out of them. And they're not sure how, because those people can be very pushy, looking for money and those sort of things. And those young ladies become victims at that point if they're not careful how to deal with that.
Is it the responsibility of the individual, or is it the responsibility of the institution to ensure a safe environment? I would think that if I were the Baton Rouge General Hospital and I had employees saying, look, there were 5 homeless guys in the garage when I rolled in at 6:15 this morning, that's dangerous. I think I would sweep them out, and I think I would make sure that they stay out in the future just to avoid potential liability.
I'm not going to second guess what their security people do, but I would say at shift change, when you got employees coming and going, and typically those are in 12-hour increments, I believe. I mean, that's what I think goes on. So you would say they're going to start arriving for work at 6 a.m. in the morning for a 7 a.m. shift, and you got the other ones getting ready to walk out of the door. You would have security in there sweeping those areas to make sure those ladies, and that doesn't need to happen all day long, but it would certainly be valuable during that period of time during shift change.
All right, what do you teach men, women, children at home when they're not expecting anybody and that doorbell rings? What do you tell them?
Well, look, there's no law against answering your door, not answering your door. I think, again, your second sense is very reliable in a lot of cases. If I'm laying in my bed or I'm sitting in my chair at 8 o'clock and my doorbell rings, that's kind of a sign that something may not be right. No, first of all, it's against the law to go door to door in the parish and sell anything, so you got to think we don't know what this is. We have custom security has come in and been a part of our program since we started. The cameras are a great idea. You can actually see your doors. You can see who's there. These cameras today, Bill, are unbelievable. I mean, you can see, they showed me the other day, the guy was probably 50 feet away, and you could read the tattoo on his neck.
Oh, yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I've got cameras front and back from, it's not a commercial, but it's the Ring Company.
Right.
Because I can record as well. And I mean, it's as good as a TV camera we have here, even at night.
But there's going to be people, again, that are not going to be comfortable with guns. And my wife is one of them. She's been through the concealed class 3 times. She shot all 3 times and still won't pick up that gun. And she's one of those that just has not made up her mind that if somebody comes in that door, she's ready to kill them. So you gotta rely on other things to deal with those sort of things. And, we recommend even, people that have dogs, I've heard little bitty dogs is no bigger than my foot sound like they were like a German Shepherd.
Oh, yeah.
So, the animals in the house are a good thing. But, there's always, everybody should have a safe place to go in their house.
Do you recommend, because most of us have the iPhone or the Android, both of which have the emergency call.
Right.
Do you recommend, if you want to see who it is, having this in your hand?
Yes, absolutely. I will tell you this story. I was leaving the house a while back, a few weeks ago, and I didn't even know that thing existed. I just didn't know. And I got my hands full. I'm getting in my truck, and the next thing I know, the phone rings, and it's the sheriff's office, and they said, "Are you in trouble?" I said, "I don't believe so." So we got a sheriff's deputy en route to your house. You just put out a 911 call. I said, "No, ma'am, I didn't." She said, "Oh, yes, you did." And I said, "Oh." Then we talked about it for a minute. She explained it to me, and I thought, well, that's a pretty cool idea.
It's a good thing to have.
It's a good thing to have. There's if you do it in rapid, I believe I've read the thing 3 or 4 times. If you do it in rapid succession like this, it will also sound off an alarm.
Mm-hmm.
So, either one of those. But the idea that, in your house, not everybody has what we called a landline when we were,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if these kids know what a landline is, but that's the one that's stuck into your house. But most everybody's got a cell phone in their hand all the time. And anytime you're moving around the house or you suspect something or hear something, you should have that phone in your hand. Be prepared. Look, inconveniencing the police department is not a problem. That is their job. I have no problem. I would rather send a police car out there to check on this person than send detectives later to pick up the body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a problem, but I don't want anybody to ever think that we're inconveniencing the police because we're suspicious of something. Let your instincts tell you what to do. The worst they can come do is come look around your house, say, well, everything looks okay, all the doors are secure and everything. But, I mean, that's what we pay taxes for, and you do that.
What about day-to-day stuff? You're stopping at the store, and on the way there, somebody in traffic is honking at you, maybe flipping you off. They're angry at you, and they can see where you're going to go. Do you go ahead and make the block go around?
You avoid that. We talked specifically about the Benny situation. Do you remember on Perkins Road? Now, that started somewhere on the interstate, and it ended up they were mouthing off at each other, whatever they were doing, and it just continued and continued on. Instead of somebody thinking at one point, okay, I'm just going to let this go. This is not going to end well. But, I'll throw him a finger off or whatever you're going to do to him. Let it go. But they just kept chawing at each other, and then the guy that ended up doing the shooting pulled into Benny's in the back, and this guy followed him in there. Mm-hmm. And then a fight supposedly ensued, and the guy that shot went back to his vehicle, got his gun, came back and shot the guy. Now, we've talked about that from a law enforcement perspective, and he's probably going to have a few problems with that.
He may do some serious time.
Yeah, I think, he had an opportunity. Even though Louisiana is there's no retreat. You don't have to retreat. You can stand your ground here. And even though that, I think somebody could have said, well, if he's got time and the guy's not charging after him and he goes to the car, they're not fighting all the way to the vehicle, but he goes to the car, comes back, and shoots the guy, I think he's got problems. And that's what we want to try to avoid if we can. Walk away. Just walk away from it.
It ain't worth it.
it.
Nobody wins.
The next 3 years, you're going to be in court civilly and criminally.
We're going to continue with former BRPD Chief Pat Anglade. And these courses, we're going to tell you how to sign up for them. They are free, but they do want to know how many people are coming. We'll tell you about that in our next segment. Back in a moment on Exiles TV.
Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
This is State Treasurer John Schroeder urging you to check your mailbox. We just mailed out $4.5 million of unclaimed property checks to people across Louisiana. Unclaimed property is lost money turned over to the Department of Treasury so we can return it to you. The process is so easy, you can claim it right from your phone. Check for yourself, check for your family, and don't forget to check your businesses. This is your money. Claim it. Check your mailbox. And cash your check. It's that easy.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Don't want to have the guns.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Former BRPD Chief Pat Englade with me. We're talking about the classes that he and former Chief Greg Ferries give, how to keep yourself safe in the kind of environment we have. Before I ask the next question, tell everybody how they can sign up for these. These are free, by the way.
They are. They're free, and they're limited. Had the fire marshal come by last night, we may have been shut down. We were trying to pack everybody in there that wanted to be there. But you saw people bringing their kids. They wanted their kids to understand what's going on. And we had people 80, 85 years old, the whole spectrum. You can go to my Facebook page. It's full of information. penglade1@cox.net is my email. You can go there and reserve a spot if you want. The next one is July 20th, and we're in the process of rescheduling more as we go forward.
And where do you have them?
These right now are being held at FRC Gun Range on South Choctaw.
Okay.
There's a huge training room in the back that will hold about 80 people back there.
It's pretty much in the geographic center of the parish.
It's right in the middle of the city almost, and we'll make sure you're safe getting in and out. There's a lot of guys there with guns.
Yeah, a lot of guns. All right, we're talking about keeping yourself safe. And you know, the conventional wisdom always has been, if somebody comes up to you and points a gun at you and says, "Give me your cell phone," you give them the damn cell phone.
Yes.
But if somebody says, "Get in the car with me," you don't get in. You're going to die.
There's a better chance of you dying.
What if you're walking around, you're coming out of Winn-Dixie, and they get their hands on you? What do?
I think you scream as loud as you can possibly scream and hope you get some help fairly quickly. being caught off guard is never a good idea. It just never. I mean, there's not much time to do anything else. Women in their purses will have a variety of different things. A lot of them carry mace or those sort of things. The new thing is wasp spray. Mm-hmm. They're telling me I can hit a guy from here to the back of the room with wasp spray.
It says on the can, shoots 20 feet.
And and if you light a match to it, you can flame throw him to death. Mm-hmm. But but when you're caught off guard, the absolute thing you have to remember is you want to survive, and you're going to have to do whatever it takes to do that. Like you said, grabbing you and getting you into a car. I'm watching videos and I'm hearing audio of incidents where they're going in a place, they're tearing the place up. There's a victim, witness, whatever you want to call it in, and the other one's yelling, shoot him, kill him. We don't have a witness. So, those are the kind of people that you can't, there's nothing in the world you're going to do. You just want to survive that incident no matter what it takes.
Well, and again, it would seem that if somebody grabs you, you don't want to square off. You want to try to get away. You want to try to break loose. Use all of your power before they get the second hand on you.
Yes. I mean, not everybody's equipped to do. I mean, for years we saw these guys preying on these older ladies coming out of Albertsons and snatching their purses and that sort of thing. And I'd say, let them have that. I know getting all those cards redone and everything's a pain, but let them have it. It's not worth it. We tell everybody that. If you're in a bank, we used to do banks all the time. Let them have the money. We'll catch them later, and it's not worth, because today life means very little to certain people. And they don't mind taking a life. And that's the shame of it. It's just, if you think about these gun battles that we have throughout Baton Rouge, one on Florida Boulevard a couple of weeks ago, there were between 70 and 80 cartridges laying in the road on Florida Boulevard. And it was just unbelievable. One of the supervisors at 2nd District down on Highland Road told me one of his guys came in about 1 o'clock in the morning. He had been in Iraq. He was a Marine in Iraq. He came in and was literally broke down. He said, I thought I was back. He was having a meltdown. He said, I thought I was back in war. He said that many rounds were going off. We couldn't tell where they were coming from, where they were going. And they sent him home that night. I mean, he literally melted down that night. And that's the sort of thing we have going on right now in Baton Rouge. You can go to these gun shows, and people tell me this all the time. They'll go to these gun shows, and these guys in there, money is no object. Most of it's dope money. And they got cash that's this high. They go in there and say, how many ARs you got there? Just whatever you got, give them to me. I'm going to buy them all. They'll find somebody without a criminal record to go in there, and he buys, Of course, the guy selling them, he's making money, so yeah, I don't care who you are. And so, the wrong weapons in the wrong hands is a disaster. I'm a Second Amendment fan just like you and Greg and everybody else. But we got to think of the other possibility that the guns that people are using for bad things is the ones we have to worry about now. I mean, how often do we hear homeowner shoots burglar or something like that? It's very seldom. And so we're in a complex world right now, and Baton Rouge is on a tipping point between the depleted police department, which we have now, over 100 short. You got like 2 guys working a shift in any part of Baton Rouge at one time, and there's 20 or 30 calls stacking up and backing up with people that have called 911 say, I need the police, and they're holding calls, for hours. It's a horrible situation right now in Baton Rouge.
If you do have a weapon, if you are proficient with that weapon, if you feel confident that it's not going to get taken away from you, and you find yourself where you are cornered, when can you shoot?
When you feel like your life or the life of someone else is in immediate danger, you have the right to use deadly force.
So
that's the state of Louisiana law. If you feel like your life or someone else's life, if your wife is 20 steps from you and this guy is coming after her and he's got a weapon or something, the same rules apply. You can take him out with whatever you need to take him out with.
If I'm in that parking lot and I have my gun within reach and I see someone approaching me with a gun in his hand, I got no place to go, but do I have to warn him?
No. No, there's no expectation of that. If we're looking at the scenario with the young nurse at the lake, and say you just got out of your car, you're carrying a gun, you got a permit, and you're walking by and you see the guy there and he's got his gun pointed at her, you could shoot him. The law gives you that ability to do that. Now, well, like our attorney advises during the safety, our safety class, now you may be in court, for the next 3 years trying to figure out how to get out of a criminal issue, maybe. I'm sure the DA is going to take all that into consideration. And probably worse than that would be the civil part of it, which but your homeowners will pay for that. They'll pay for your defense.
And by the way, the civil liability is going on with that shooting in the parking lot at Acadian Perkins Plaza,
right,
where the guy thought he was helping those two women who didn't ask for help, and killed that guy. His family has filed suit saying he was doing just what he wanted to do. He liked to panhandle, and he got shot for his trouble.
And those people can be a little pushy sometimes, and we just you just got to just get away from them. Don't get like Greg talks about the panhandlers, and he's like, why would you sit here and hold a discussion with somebody that's made very poor life decisions, and you're going to sit here and argue with him about a couple of bucks, walk away from it. Go tell the manager in the store, look, I'm being harassed. If you don't get to do something about this, we're not coming back to the store anymore. People need to communicate this to people.
I think there's a big point that you've made there on this panhandler out in front of Trader Joe's. I guess it was in between Trader Joe's and another store. I was told by two different people that they had talked to security about this guy, and one of the security people said, I'm afraid of him. I am not going to run him off. And I think we see a lot of that. I don't think we see it in our law enforcement, but I think we see it in private security and store management. I think they're very afraid of these people that could possibly be dangerous to them and their customers. And I don't know how we change that.
I don't either. I think everybody is so afraid of liability these days, but I would think that if you've had a series of people that came into your store and said, this guy is dangerous, he's in my face, he's being very pushy, I'm afraid of him, and the store takes no responsibility toward that, I would think that would increase their liability, in my opinion, because they should have done something about it.
That's right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have just a couple minutes with Chief Englade on the other side. This is Exiles TV. Stick around.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The Post on Church Point, a brand new event venue owned and managed by the VFW Post 3693, welcomes you to the bridal show of the future. Come out and enjoy the food, dancing, meet and greet with vendors, and win amazing prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. For tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. Located at 42430 Church Point Road, Gonzales. Vendor space is very limited, so hurry to secure your spot.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Coming back with former Chief Pat Anglade. Pat, we've got under 4 minutes here. General things that you should do to keep yourself safe, and I think I'm going to ask you the proper order to do things when you're walking to your car and getting in your car.
You should, awareness is absolutely the number one weapon that you have. It doesn't matter if you've got a SIG on your side or a Glock. If you got your head down in a phone, it does you no good. They're going to be on you before, and then they're going to have your gun. So you know the idea. You need to, and if you sit, I've sat in parking lots at hospitals and grocery stores waiting on my wife to come, and it's almost like a habit where they walk out. As soon as they walk out, they're doing this. So they're concentrating on everything that they're not supposed to be doing. So we tell people, get your stuff, get to your car, start the car, get out of there. Once you've started the car, you're in a 5,000-pound weapon then.
Exactly.
So we want people to know, don't sit there and just listen to music and not pay attention to your surroundings.
Well, and have both hands available.
Certainly.
The phone can wait until you're out of the parking lot.
Exactly. The mascara can wait. Everything can wait. If you got to go into the bathroom, when you get into the hospital or into the office, put it on when you get in, because you're vulnerable sitting in a car that people are looking for those opportunities. You've got a person, you've got property, and everything that people are looking for are right there available to them. You're pretty much a sitting duck in that situation.
And if you see something that you don't like, if it really, really bothers you, you say something is wrong here. Do you leave the safety of your car to go tell somebody inside, or you just go ahead and call the cops and say, hey, maybe you ought to send somebody to look at this?
The police are here for a reason. I never cared, even though we got calls on, a dog's in the ditch somewhere or whatever we got calls on. But when somebody is in fear, no matter if it's justified or not, in their minds, they're afraid. We need to send somebody out there and make sure they're okay. That's the job of the police department. And that's, even though people I don't want to bother them with this because it's not a big deal. They're real busy with everything else going on. It's what they're supposed to be doing. It's their job.
Well, and you know what? If you're suspicious enough to call, they'll decide whether it's a big deal or not when they get there.
Exactly. And in most cases, a guy's going to say, look, I talked to the guy. He was just walking through the garage. I don't see him as a threat. But I'm going to go ahead and make a report. If he shows back up here again and we got a regular pattern going on here, then we're going to have to take another step. So documenting things is very important in a lot of cases, and it just creates that paper trail that you're looking for in case something happens. If that guy raped somebody 2 weeks from now, he was in that garage and somebody wrote a report on it.
Yeah, we got that. All right. Anglade1 at cox.net. That's how you can find out about the next safety class, keeping yourself safe. He and former Chief Greg Ferries and a couple of other folks, Attorney John McClendon. It is worth your time, and it is free. Pat, we are out of time, but I thank you so much for being with us. We thank you all for watching. Remember the replay at 10 o'clock tonight as well. And until we meet again, stay safe.
Yes.
Bye-bye, everybody.